still. Rubber burns on concrete. Fight for glory, thrill to kill. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might. Fuel gauge dancing low. Sweat drips, countdown slow. Wind cutting faces now. Victory, our solemn vow. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might. With all our might. Fuel gauge dancing low. Sweat drips, countdown slow. Wind cutting faces now. Victory, our solemn vow. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might. Adrenaline rush we crave. Pushing past edges brave. Life in fast lane feeding fire. Tracks our only true desire. Helmet on, focused eyes. Crowds roar, reaches skies. Pit stop, seconds to spare. In this war, no place for care. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready here for the first playoff race of the season, the first playoff race for the Premium Stock Car Racing League about to get underway. These drivers are out there, they're doing a little bit of practice here, and as practice kind of slowly but surely comes to a close, we're going to be pulling these drivers in, a few of our playoff contenders here this evening to really see what their thoughts are going into this first race, the first round of the playoffs. We got 3 races before 4 drivers, I do believe 4 drivers are eliminated from the playoffs here this year. So these 3 races, a lot of guesses up in the air, a lot of drivers going to be feeling a little bit nervous and ready to just kind of get things in motion, see if they can try to work themselves into the playoff picture here this evening. As we're going to get ready, we're going to pull in one of our playoff drivers right now as we'll pull up the standings here as well, where you guys can get a really good look here at the playoff field and everything else. So Matthew Wood coming in with a pretty handsome amount of points here on the evening. So Matthew Wood with some pretty good points. Landon Burbage there behind him, placed in second. Then we see Grant Applegate, Brian Underwood, Josh Crider, our top 5 going into this playoffs. And then you see Dylan Carrier, William Connolly, Chris Getz, they're all right there, pretty darn close to that cutoff line. And the drivers that are on the outside of the transfers into the playoffs here right now is Jordan Hand, Thomas Horvath, Chris Stange, and Noah Blackwell. So they're on the outside looking in here, hoping to try to work themselves into the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see, which drivers we can kind of get in there and which drivers we can get up and into the booth. Let's see if we can get Mr. Wood up in here first. Let me make sure we got his webcam working first here, and some of the drivers just hopping in with their webcams. So we want to make sure we get all these drivers in there so you guys can get a good look at these drivers as we get rocking and rolling. As Dallas Ewart says, Jordan Hand getting the trophy. Yes, sir, he's getting the trophies, getting the win here this evening, you think, hey, Dallas? That's a good choice. It's a good choice. It's a possibility. But let's see if we can get our point leader going into the evening here. Matthew Wood up and into the broadcast booth. Ready? Let me see if we can get another look at this. There we go. There we go. There we
Are
go.
you
All right.
Pookie Bear?
Hey, Matthew, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
Hello.
Matthew, man, a good season so far for you. You're getting ready to roll into the first round of the playoffs with a pretty good point lead between yourself and that cut line. How you feeling going into this first race here at Watkins Glen, knowing that you got yourself a pretty comfy lead, but anything can happen here in these next 3 races?
Yeah, just stay safe out here. Don't wreck the car. Have a good race. Probably, if I don't kill the car, get a top 5. I had some good battles in practice and go on to next week.
Absolutely, brother. That's all you can do. So what's the game plan going into this evening here at Watkins Glen? How do you got to attack this racetrack? How do you got to strategize to keep yourself, towards the front of the field to get out of here with a solid points evening and trying to keep that cushion you have between yourself and that cutoff line?
No, it's just going to be all about staying up front. If we qualify well, we can't have an off track in qualifying. Get up front early and try to stay up front the best we can. And if we ever get flipped in one of the stages, then just use the racecraft that I've learned throughout my endurance racing days to get back up.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Matthew, good luck out there. Have some fun, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth throughout the evening.
All right, God bless.
All right. Okay, perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Our point leader coming into this afternoon, one of those drivers looking to punch their ticket into the next round of the playoffs, Mr. Wood right there. Now we're going to pull in our second place driver in the points. It's Landon Burbage. Burbage coming in here. He's got a little bit of a gap between himself and that cutoff line as well. Let's see what Landon has to say about this evening. Hey, Landon, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yeah, man, I do.
Landon, man, a good season so far for you. Not a whole lot of time to be able to put yourself into victory lane, but no better time than now here in the playoffs, man. How you feeling going into this first round of our Premium Stock Car Racing League playoffs, and how do you get to attack this racetrack?
Just try to play smooth and, just run my lines and just do what I can do best, and try not to mess up. That's the biggest thing. Pit strategies and just trying to run the racetrack.
Absolutely, brother. Definitely trying to make sure you can work yourself into that next round of the playoffs. You come in with a pretty good little point lead between yourself and that cutoff line. Good luck out there. Have some fun, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth throughout the evening.
Yes, sir, man. Much appreciated.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Landon Burbage coming in as our second place driver in the points. Let's see if we can get our third place driver, Grant Applegate, up here into the booth. I don't know if I see Grant in the Discord. I do not see Grant anywhere in there, so we may not be able to get Grant into the booth here for his pre-race interview, so we'll go down to Brian Underwood. Mr. Underwood sitting patiently here. Let's see if we can pull Brian in for his pre-race interview. Hey, Brian, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Brian, man, you come into this evening with a little bit of a gap between yourself and that cutoff line here in this one, man. How are you feeling going through, this first round of the playoffs here? You got at least a 10-point gap between yourself and Jordan Hand there for the 9th place on the point standing.
Yeah, it's a just get out of here, and well, basically first 2 rounds are pretty tight, so it's just get out of here clean and hopefully do the same next week, and I think we'll be fine after that.
Absolutely, definitely a bit of a tough racetrack here, Watkins Glen International. Always tough to not only have to turn left now, but also having to turn right, having to switch up through those gears consistently, man. How do you attack this racetrack? How do you make sure you try to earn yourself some stage points and come out of here, fairly unscathed and trying to keep that gap between yourself and the cutoff line?
For me, it's just keep patient and just keep it on the track, and feel like I got good enough speed to run top 5, top 10, if everything goes right. But yeah, you won't see me in the winner's circle tonight.
Well, hey, man, anything is possible out there on the racetrack. Brian, good luck out there. Have some fun, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the booth after the race.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our 4th place in points, Brian Underwood. Underwood waiting patiently there, so good for him. Good for him coming in here with a decent point lead as we're going to pull in our 5th place in the standings here, our playoff standings, Mr. Josh Crider. Hey, Josh, do you got a copy?
Hey, I got you. I know we're short on time, so I'll make mine quick.
It's
Hi,
all good,
everybody.
brother.
Love you watching at home. I hate this track. I hate road racing. I hate everything about going left and right, but good luck, and hopefully I stay not eliminated to win another championship. So talk to you later.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good luck. Have fun out there, and hopefully we'll talk to you again up here in the booth. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Joshua Crider, our 5th place driver. As we'll get ready, we'll pull in our 6th place driver, Dylan Carrier. Hey, Dylan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
I got you, loud and clear.
Dylan, brother, so far a good season here for you. You were able to pick up that win. You earn yourself a little bit of extra points here in the playoffs. You know, how do you feel going into this, knowing that you got at least a little bit of a gap, a little bit of a cushion here going into this first round of the playoffs?
Pretty good. I'm on a hot streak. Seems like I'm doing good. Sucks that we have to start with a road course because I am probably the worst road course racer in the league. But I've been putting a ton into practice, so let's just hope I can keep my hot streak. I got a new wheel, so I don't know if you can see it on the broadcast, but I got a new wheel, 13-inch rim, so just gonna roll with that and hopefully have a good rest of the season and not get eliminated in the first round.
Absolutely, brother. Well, good luck out there today. Have some fun, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the booth throughout the evening.
Hopefully.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 6th place point driver here this evening, Dylan Carrier. Carrier currently sitting there in 6th. We'll bring in William Connolly, our 7th place driver. Hey, Will, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yep.
Well, man, so far a good season for the 25 ride, but now we go into the playoffs. You got a couple point gap between yourself and the elimination line here in this first stage of our playoffs, man. How do you got to go through this evening? How do you got to make your way through this stage to put yourself into the next round of our playoffs?
Just be there at the end. You don't want to spin out because there's no full course except for the stages, you know. So you just have to be on top of it, and you want to get through the night.
Absolutely, William. Well, good luck out there. Have some fun, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth later on this evening.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for William Connolly, our 7th place in points. Now we'll bring in our 8th place points driver here, Chris Getz. Hey, Chris, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Chris, man, so far a fairly up and down season for you, but you come into the playoffs, you got those 3 points after the win, so you're able to have a little bit of a cushion here tonight between yourself and that cutoff line, but a lot of good drivers trying to chase you down. How do you keep this 8th place points in the standings? How do you work yourself into the next round here this year?
I'll be fighting for my life tonight, so I'm just trying to keep it clean and race the best that I can. Try to stay in the playoffs.
Absolutely, brother. Well, it's definitely going to be a handful of action here this evening. These road courses tend to be, you know, make or break for a lot of drivers. So how do you feel going into the next couple races here after today?
Not too good this week, but next week I'll be pretty happy. So I'm just trying to make it through this one.
Absolutely, brother. Well, good luck out there. Have some fun, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the booth afterwards.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Chris Getz. Getz currently that driver in 8th place there. He is the last driver that currently, if the playoffs were to end, would be at that cutoff line, as we'll get ready to pull in one of those drivers that's on the outside of the playoffs, looking in, Jordan Hand. Hey, Jordan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Jordan, you come into the night, the first car on the outside of the playoffs looking in here. How do you going to attack here this evening? How do you got to try to work yourself through the points and try to lock yourself in or put yourself into the next round of the playoffs here in these first 3 races of the playoffs?
Yeah, man, just short and sweet. Just race my race, you know. Just do what I do best and go out there and just be consistent.
Absolutely, man, and being consistent definitely a lot tougher when you come to a road course like here at Watkins Glen. Kind of what's the strategy here on the evening? How do you earn those stage points? How do you put yourself into the winner's circle?
Yeah, man, just hopefully get a good qualifying session here and set a good lap and just kind of start out front and just, just keep it on track. I mean, it's simple as that.
Absolutely, brother. Well, good luck out there. Have some fun, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the booth before the end of the night.
I appreciate it, brother.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there. Jordan Hand, our 9th place driver in points. And now we're going to pull in the 10th place driver, Thomas Horvath. Let's pull Thomas up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Thomas, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Thomas, you come into the evening on the outside of a playoff position looking in here, man. How do you get to attack this first round of the NASCAR playoffs to put yourself into the second round here, in these first 3 races?
Luckily we got a road course here. I think I've got road courses figured out for the most part. Just got to keep it clean and then when we go from here, do the best I can at the tracks I'm not so good at, but this one's definitely an important one for me.
Absolutely, brother. So definitely an important one. We'll be looking for you towards the front of the field here. How do you get to attack this race strategy-wise to earn yourself, the maximum that you can here on the evening with stage points and points there at the end?
Yeah, I know when the stages end, so I'm gonna try to have the best position I can for those laps, and then do some tire saving, and maybe I can save some better tires the last stage than the other guys, and then put the pressure on them at the last few laps, come out with the win or something.
Absolutely, brother. Well, good luck out there. Have some fun, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the booth throughout the evening.
Thanks, buddy. Enjoy.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, giving up there for our 10th in place there, Thomas Horvath. Is Horvath getting ready for his qualifying effort? Chris Stange, unfortunately, I don't see in the Discord right now, so we're going to pull in our 12th place driver here in the points. We're going to pull in Noah Blackwell. Hey, Noah, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Noah, you come into this race being that 12th place driver here in the points, knowing that you're going to have 3 good races to work yourself into the next round of the playoffs, man. Take us through, the evening here. How do you get to attack this racetrack, and how do you find your way into the next round of the playoffs?
Well, I need me a Daytona road course race, but I actually finish it this time, and I qualify well. So, it's not ideal being on the cut line, but I got to figure out something. I'm not really good at getting stage points, but I need to figure something out here and just qualify well. If I qualify up front, I'll be fine.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing you up there battling, having some fun at the front of the field, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth throughout the evening. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our 12th place driver. Unfortunately, I didn't see Stange in here, Mr. Christopher Stange, for his pre-race interview, and we also didn't see Applegate in there as well. I do see him in the Discord now, but he wasn't in the booth area, so I don't really want to pull him in too quickly here, especially if he's out there for his qualifying session. You're not late. You're not late. You're kind of on time here. No worries about that. I do see Christine is in the race. We were thinking of Grant Applegate. I don't see. There's Applegate. Okay, Applegate's been going out there for his qualifying run, so we don't want to ruin his run out there. So you get a good look here. You hear from a lot of these drivers, what they gotta do, how they gotta maneuver, how they gotta work themselves through the field, trying to put themselves potentially into a win or some stage points or something here throughout the evening to try to better their chances of making it into the next round of the playoffs. Good to have all these drivers in here giving us a good look and everything else on what they really gotta do, how they gotta attack this racetrack, and how they're going to try to work themselves into the next round of the playoffs. As SSJ Logic coming in, says Jordan Hand winning that championship. Ooh, brother. Jordan Hand got some fans in the stands here this afternoon. Diabetes, absolutely no quick race. Nope, we're just getting things started, doing some pre-race, pre-playoff interviews here with some of our playoff drivers there before we get into the action. Is qualifying qualifying underway right now, and currently quickest out there on the racetrack is this number 16 ride, Matthew Wood, currently the fastest cat out there on the racetrack. Landon Burbage, and now Thomas Horvath gonna jump up into position number 3. William Connolly there in 4th, with Chris Stange there in position number 5. Here in this qualifying effort, Dylan Carrier, Ben Gleason, Jordan Hand, Brian Underwood, and Dallas Seward. Oh, damage there for the 38 ride. Seward, unfortunately, having some fun here after his qualifying effort there, and smashing it into the outside fence. I don't know what he's doing, but he's having some fun out there on the racetrack nonetheless. As we do see Josh Crider, he's rolling out there. He's got that Target Camaro, the number 5 ride, looking to try to get a better lap time here after the first lap, currently in the 9th position. So trying to see if he can get a little extra speed, seeing if he can try to work himself closer to the front of the field here to start this afternoon. We do see Grant Applegate out there as well in the Red Bull number 57 ride, looking fresh on the speedway. Noah Blackwell out there as well. Noah in the Scooby-Doo machine out there on the racetrack. Then 9 ride, looking to try to work himself up and maybe into that pole position. We'll see if this is his first lap and if this one gets registered or not, or if his efforts are just about to get underway down across the line. He's going to jump up into 8th here, but Applegate jumps up into 5th. Great lap right there for Grant Applegate, now inside the top 5 here with that lap time. So Applegate will try another lap, see if he can get a little quicker. Josh Crider about to finish his second lap here. We'll see if Crider can find a little extra speed, see if he can work himself closer to the front of the field, down across the line. Does he find the speed he was looking for? No! Couldn't find anything extra right there, so currently scored in that 11th spot here on qualifying. The 9 of Blackwell, Grant Applegate, still looking for their laps here. Their second lap's about to come to a close as Noah Blackwell down through the big bus turn there and down through the big corners here at Watkins Glen International Speedway. This place is a lot of fun. This place is a great place to come and race. We've seen NASCAR races, you know, time and time again, put on some great shows, some seriously good races here week after week after week, or every single race they have here seems to always be a bit of a banger, so I can only expect the same here from these drivers. Is Mama Bear, Susie Dickinson coming in with the heart reaction over there on Facebook. Black Phoenix, my boy Black Phoenix coming in as well with that like on the broadcast as well. How are you, Mama Bear? How are you, Black Phoenix? Coming in, showing the love here in this one over there on the Facebook stream. As we'll get these drivers ready to rock and roll. Qualifying coming to a close here, so as qualifying coming to an end, we're going to get ready for the start of this A main feature event. Our A main event to get underway. These drivers getting ready to go to battle here this evening, and I do believe we got quite a few laps here. 50 laps on the docket for these drivers. So that's a lot of laps. There's a lot of right turns. There's a lot of left turns out there on the speedway to see who can put themselves into the winner's circle. As Matthew Wood says, you may need to control my scheme. You got another paint scheme on there. These guys changing their paint scheme so late in the night. I'll do it. It is changed, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to see it or not. Or you may just have it. Yeah, it's just set up with that one right there, brother. You may have to change it. I know iRacing sometimes is totally different. I know trading paints, you can put a paint scheme in for like every different thing, for leagues and for daytime or nighttime races. You can have them set as different ones, so you may just have it set in the wrong area there, unfortunately, over on trading paints. As I forgot to put my banners, laugh out loud. Oh no, the banners, yeah. Hey, you know what? It'll be tough, but for the most part, we'll be able to remember all the drivers that are in the playoffs or out of the playoffs, and I'll be able to look up quickly and see kind of where drivers are and where they are in the points and everything else. And we know Matthew is definitely one of those drivers in the playoffs. I think he can skip out on the playoff banner here for the first race, that's for certain, with his big point lead over that cut line. Is is Rabbit Hash Trash coming in. Says, good luck, number 87 and the 67. Stay on the track. Yeah, that's going to be the biggest challenge, I think, here for a lot of these drivers, man. A lot of these guys, man, they're very, very good, very talented, especially when it comes to the oval racing. But when you start to get into the road course stuff, it's a whole different ballgame. Having to go through the gears, having to get hard onto the binders and make those left turns, the right turns, trying not to, miss the bus stop or anything else. It is tough. It is definitely a whole different race. It's a whole different feel in behind the wheel, trying to work yourself, around the racetrack here with it being a road course. But these drivers, man, they've had a lot of practice. They've been working their butts off, and I'm sure we're going to get ready for a absolute treat here this afternoon for our first playoff race of the season. Our first playoff race about to get underway is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are just tuning in and you guys want to help us out, man, it's absolutely free to do. Smash the like button on the broadcast, hit that share button, hit that follow or subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel or our Facebook or Twitch. Make sure you guys go check us out on all of those channels, as we're going to get ready to set these drivers up. We're going to get ready to go green flag racing here. 50 laps of racing action here on the evening as drivers getting lined up behind the official iRacing pace car, the beautiful Porsche machine out there on the speedway, and it's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to have a lot of good stuff here, and let's get a little poll going here. Let's see. Get a little poll going. Do we think a playoff driver makes it into the show, or do we see a driver that hasn't won a race yet this year? One of those drivers that missed out on the playoffs, not getting a win. Do we see a non-playoff driver win tonight, or do we see a playoff driver win tonight? That's going to be the big thing here. So let's start a poll here. Let's get that going. Let's see what you guys think. Yes for a playoff driver win tonight, or a no for if you think somebody outside of the playoffs is going to pick up that win. Is my boy Justin Young. Justin coming in with the big love here in this one, coming in with the $5 USD donation over there on YouTube. Coming in, showing the big love here in this one. I appreciate that, brother, coming in, dropping the $5 here. Says, good luck, Stange. 100% you're taking home the win. Woo, baby. Chris Stange, new fan in the stands here for you, brother, as Justin Young cheering on the Stange machine as we're going to get ready here to go through our starting grid. Is starting on the pole in the number 16. That is Matthew Wood in the Racers for Christ machine. To his outside in the McDonald's number 2. That is the Camaro of Landon Burbage. And starting in position number 3 in the number 54. That is Thomas Horvath in the NJBDesigns.com number 54 ride. Starting in position at number 4 in the breast cancer awareness, the cancer ride. That is William Connolly starting in 4th. Starting in the 5th position in the number 57 ride, it is the Red Bull Racing Machine. That is the Toyota of Grant Applegate. To his outside in the Fueled Up Motorsports and beautiful number 29 ride is the W Energy AdminBoxx machine of Chris Stange. Starting in position at number 7 in the 9 ride, it is one of those beautiful, beautiful Scooby-Doo machines, the NJB Designs ride, the Cartoon Network ride, the 9 of Noah Blackwell. To his outside in the NJB Designs, the Bass Pro Shop Club number 88, that is Dylan Carrier. Starting in position number 9 in the 66 ride, that is the Oscar Mayer Hot Dogs ride of Ben Gleason, and rounding out our top 10 in the number 1 machine is the Optic Texas, the Optic Gaming number 1, the Scooby-Doo machine. The other one out there, it's Shorthand, rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Starting in the 11th position in the number 77 ride, I do believe. No, it is actually the number 6 ride. That is going to be the 6 machine, the Premium Stock Car Racing League ride of Brian Underwood. To his outside will be the 5 ride of Josh Crider there in 12th. Then we see Aiden Lucas in the Beyond Detailing 77 ride. Dallas Seward in the 38. Paul LaCour in the 40. 41 will start back there in the 15th position. He's going to have Jonathan Gaston to his outside there in the Gaston's iRacing Graphics number 72. Then we see Nathan Brookover in the 8 machine. He's in one of those Gaston iRacing Graphics rides. He's going to have the number 37 of Evan Stewart to his outside, and Chris Getz in the 87, bringing up the rear of the field. So Getz, one of our playoff contenders here this season, is back there starting in the 19th position, bringing up the rear of the field. So 19 drivers ready to rock and roll here for our first playoff race of the season for the Premium Stock Car Racing League. As the pace car makes a hard right-hand turn down pit side, we will see that green flag fly for the first time here this evening. Quickly, Matthew Wood up and through the gears is going to take us down into corner number 1. We'll have to wait and see if everyone else can make it through there nicely. Everyone trying to make their way through that first corner. Now they're going to go up through the S-turns here. The big, long, swooping, fast S's up the hill. These drivers go trying to chase down Matthew Wood as Wood out in front leading the way. He'll take him out of corner number 3 on the speedway and take us right on down to the bus stop here. Now this is going to be potentially a trouble area as drivers hopping over those bus stops. You already see one driver, William Connolly, going for a slide there through that first bus stop of the evening in the cancer ride. Unfortunately, going for a bit of a skid right there. Luckily enough, able to keep that car out of too much trouble. Not too much damage there for that 25. He keeps that car rolling, pointed in the right direction. And Connolly, unfortunately, slides all the way back now into that 16th position. Let's see if we can play this back here and get another look and see what happens here to this 25 ride as he started in position number 4. Unfortunately, though, he sends it in here, just gets onto the binders. As he does, that car just locks loose, rear end locks up on him. Fortunately, goes around there, goes for that skid. Good jump by everyone else. You see Chris Stange and Gleason, all these drivers trying to get around him here without any additional contact or damage for themselves early in this race. But unfortunately, there for the 25 ride, it sends him all the way back here now into that 15th position on the speedway. As Matthew Wood out in front here, Wood doing the best he can at the front of the field, and he is starting to open up a bit of a gap between himself and everybody else. As Matthew Wood out in front now by 1.7 seconds after leading that first lap, looking to try to open up a lead and looking to run away with this one is Thomas Horvath there in second. Grant Applegate there in third. Landon Burbage there in position number 4, and looking for more is Noah Blackwell up inside the top 5 now in the NJP Designs number 9 ride. Chris Stange there in position number 6 with Ben Gleason there in 7th. Jordan Hand up into 8th as Dylan Carrier slides back to 9th, and Brian Underwood up inside the top 10. Aiden Lucas back there in 11th with Josh Crider, Dallas Seward, Jonathan Gaston, William Connolly, Evan Stewart, Paul LaCour, Chris Getz, and Nathan Brookover bringing up the rear of the field early on in this one. But it's the Racers for Christ number 16 of Matthew Wood who's out in front and continuing to stretch that lead out more and more out there on the racetrack. He continues to try to pull farther and farther away from the rest of these drivers, trying to open up a pretty big lead as we will see stage breaks on lap number 10 and lap number 20. So the 16 ride being as fast as he is, do you think he kind of turns it down, maybe tones it down a little bit? He's got this pretty decent lead. He's got a good advantage between himself and the rest of the field, but we do see a few drivers running into issues, one of those being the 9 rider Noah Blackwell. Heavy damage for Blackwell here. Heavy damage for Noah Blackwell. We also see Landon Burbage going off the racetrack as well. Let's take a look here and see what happens as looks like the 9 gets in there a little too deep, gets into the 2 rider Landon Burbage. Burbage hard into that 54 ride as this is the first big spin we see, and this is a battle up inside the top 5. These drivers are battling inside the top 5, all 4 of them here are in our playoffs, and it looks like Blackwell just gets in there too deep, gets into the back end of Burbage. Burbage slides up and into the 54 of Horvath, which just kind of gets Horvath turned around. They make pretty hard contact down there in the bus stop, and you see that damage to the front end of the 9 ride here of Noah Blackwell. Blackwell, unfortunately, heavy front end damage, heavy damage there for the 54 and the 2 machine, as well as they all trying to get their cars figured out, trying to get them pointed back in the right direction. You do see the 9 ride right down on the apron, letting all these drivers go by as that hood is at risk of flying right up and blurring his vision. So holds it down on the grass, no caution flag, but that's going to unfortunately hurt a lot of our drivers here in the playoffs early in this race. Let's jump on board here with Burbage. See what he can see is, yeah, he's trying to get checked up. Unfortunately gets ran in from behind, and nothing he can do except for hang on to it. Unfortunately gets a big piece there of that 54 round. Let's see if we can take a look from Noah Blackwell's perspective here, as Noah just gets in here a little too hot. Unfortunately, yeah, right there. Hard contact into the back end of the 2 ride, and heavy damage for a lot of those drivers as Blackwell finds himself down pit side. Chris Getz also down on pit road here as well. So a tough break there for Chris Getz in that number 87 ride as he's looking his car down pit side. He also ran into some issues. Let's take a look here at Chris Getz and what happens to him again down through the bus stop. Going over the bumps here, and looks like just off that second bump. Oh, hard contact for the 87 ride. Is that inside fence right there? That is one of those problem areas. You see this car just unfortunately hopping over those inside rumble strips, and unfortunately gets a big hop right here. And as this car comes back down, it's just super loose. The car on balance. Unfortunately, the car just hooks a left and up and into the safer tires here on the outside of the bus stop, and that is a heavy hit there for Chris Getz, and that brings him down pit side as well. Now him and Noah Blackwell both a lap down here early in this race. Both drivers getting their cars repaired and back out onto the racetrack, but both drivers running into some early issues here. So 2 playoff contenders, 2 playoff drivers in the thick of it early on here from Watkins Glen International Speedway, as Matthew Wood out in front. Wood and just pulling away from the rest of the field here at this point. Wood out in front by 7 seconds between himself and Grant Applegate. That is absolutely insane. 7 seconds now separates our top 2 drivers out there on the racetrack, and Matthew Wood just looking to continue to pull away more and more here in this one. But again, huge shout out to my boy Justin Young. Mr. Young coming in, dropping the big bomb, the $5 USD donation coming in, showing the big love here in this one. And he's got the big D of the day with the $5 dono. Absolutely insane. And we're gonna end the poll. You know, a couple voters, and everyone thinks that a playoff driver will win tonight. So that's bad news. Bad news for the rest of the field here. Bad news for the rest of these drivers that are on the outside of the playoffs looking in. The chat has no faith in them. The chat has no faith in them to pick up a win here this evening, as Abigail Clancy coming in, which is obviously a fake account, get absolutely yeeted and deleted. And bots, bro. Get out of here. Just get gone. See you later. See ya. Damn bots over there on Facebook, bro. They're almost as bad as the bots over on Twitch. My gosh, they're bad everywhere nowadays, except for YouTube, man. YouTube, I find is pretty good. We don't see a whole lot of bots over there, which I do love. I do love seeing that. Chat has no love. Yeah, no love, unfortunately, except for Justin. Justin's got all the love. The big D here in this one, brother. I appreciate you no matter what, my boy. As out in front, Matthew Wood just continuing to click these laps away, continuing to try to pull farther and farther away from the rest of the field, is Mr. Grant Applegate there in second. So Applegate, the Red Bull Racing Toyota, they're in position number 2. Chris Staines in the Fueled Up Motorsports AdminBoxx number 29 ride, they're in position number 3. And we take a look back there behind them. Your man doing exactly what he set out to do here in that beautiful Austin, Texas number 1 ride. needed to get some of these extra points, needed to try to earn those bonus points and everything else here through these stages, trying to put himself into the next round of the playoffs. Now with some drivers running into early issues and falling outside the top 10 where they're not going to earn any of these stage points, this could be a huge positive for Jordan Hand going forward here on the rest of the evening, doing exactly what he set out to do. And that's trying to pick up a lot of extra points here. Same with Thomas Horvath there in the 54. Ben Gleason doing a great job there in the 66. Ryan currently in that 6th position. Ryan Underwood came into the night with a few good bonus points, but hang on to it as the orange number 6 trying to keep that car out of trouble, having to do a couple passes through the grass right there, and Landon Burbage closing the gap on him as Burbage trying to battle back from that early contact between himself, Noah Blackwell, and Thomas Horvath. Horvath doing a great job as well, keeping himself inside the top 5 after that issue on the speedway. Josh Crider trying to earn at least a few stage points here, has himself there in 9th. Dylan Carrier in that 10th position, currently right now in that final spot. 4 stage points here on the evening, or for this first stage of the night. Trying to reel in that 5 right, trying to earn himself that extra playoff point. He's got Aiden Lucas, William Connolly right there behind him. Connolly knowing that he needs to get up on top of wheel 1 to get some of these stage points as well. Currently sitting there in that 12th position is Paul LaCourte back there in 13th. Dallas Seward there in 14th. Evan Stewart there in the 15th position with Jonathan Gaston. Nathan Brookover, our top 17 here on the speedway. Noah Blackwell, that first driver, I do believe 1 lap down out there on the speedway. And right now, Blackwell just hoping to get this free pass, get back on the lead lap and back into contention here for the night. Trying to turn a bad night into a half-decent night as Chris Gantz back down pit side here. Another tough break for Chris Gantz. We also saw Evan Stewart run into some issues here in the 37. Right, let's take a look back and see what happened here to Evan Stewart in the 37 as the beautiful Camaro down the back straightaway here. The Stripe Kings ride just unfortunately getting up the racetrack over the rumble strips there, getting loose, having to stop up there in the middle of the bus stop there. Able to get that car rolling again, no damage, so that's a good break at least. It doesn't look like he gave up too many positions there, having that issue, but we do see in front, continuing to lead the way, Matthew Wood continue to stretch out this lead over 10 seconds now between Mr. Wood and our 2nd place driver, Grant Applegate. Applegate all the way back here in position number 2. This lead is continuing to stretch more and more and more as Applegate just going into the bus stop here, and there you see our race leader already going down and out of corner number 6 on the racetrack here, and already taking his way down this Long Pong straightaway here and into our 7th and then our final corner here in just a little bit. So stretching out that lead more and more and more by Applegate, trying to stay with them, trying to hang with them, but we'll have to wait and see if this is more just strategy call, maybe trying to take it easier on the car. If that number 57 just kind of lets them run away with the first stage, maybe be happy with the 2nd stage points. And you do see this 57 blinking quite a bit, but he's got a gap between himself and that 29 ride of Chris Stage, so Applegate and Stage can kind of take a little bit of a break here, maybe try to take it easier on their tires, maybe during this stage break that's coming up on lap number 10. Maybe they see it on the racetrack, try to roll out there or save a set of tires, maybe come down pit side, get fuel only, see if they can leapfrog themselves in front of Matthew Wood, or see if maybe they can kind of use some of that strategy for late in this race, maybe having those fresher tires with a late race caution flag that could potentially, you know, move them forward or find that speed that they need to maybe knock this number 16 rider Matthew Wood out of the top spot, as the lap times have fallen off about a second or so here, so the tires will play a bit of a factor here in this evening's race. So you got to make sure you can maybe save those tires or have those tires behind pit wall to help you out there on the speedways. The caution flag hasn't been displayed, so first stage coming to a close, and it is this number 16 of Matthew Wood picking up that stage win. So Matthew Wood, a big stage win right there, gonna pull himself up and into another stage win, another playoff point, plus 10 playoff points here for the standings. So he's earning that 1 bonus point here already in this race, and also qualifying in that pole position earns him another bonus point. So a couple early bonus points here for the 16, and right now he's sitting pretty out there on the speedway, just hoping to have some more good runs like that one as we'll get ready to pull our stage winner up and into the broadcast booth here for his stage win out there on the speedway. Let's see if we can get this number 16 right up here into the booth. Let's see if we can pull him up into the chat and see if we can get a good word in with him here after that big stage win. Hey Matthew, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
I'm heartbroken.
Heartbroken? Why are you heartbroken, brother?
Ryan Steeg, man, he's so close. He's so close every time, man. And he chokes it both times.
Oh, brother. Well, still a lot of laps left, still a lot of racing here this evening, but Matthew, so far, mission accomplished for yourself on the evening. Quickest in that qualifying session, earning the bonus point there for the playoffs, and the extra bonus point here for this first stage win on the evening after you were able to drive out in front, have yourself a 10-second lead right there, almost 11 seconds by that time of that caution flag between yourself and the rest of the field, man. Take us back through that first stage. What's going through your mind, and what's the game plan going forward here throughout this second stage and into the end of the race?
Well, I was happy because Sieg was getting around him, and then he got loose and almost died, and then a caution came out and he choked the restart, and then I just focused on myself from then because I didn't want to see it. But I'm gonna get new tires. Driving with one hand's not fun. See how this next stage goes. My throttle pedal is being very weird, and it's really bad in the carousel. Like, I push it down, and then once it's kind of halfway down, it just starts, like, going all over the place. I don't know if one of the wires have come loose. It almost killed me about 3 times, so I don't know what's going on, but hopefully it don't get worse. I've dealt with this once before, though, so hopefully it's nothing serious, but perfect. Yeah,
I wasn't going to say anything until you got there into your pit box, brother, as didn't want to mess you up, knowing that there's so much on the line here this evening.
Landon missed it.
Yes, he did. Unfortunate break there for Landon, having the back up there behind you, but so far so good here this evening. A couple of drivers doing a couple different strategy moves. We see Dallas Stewart staying out there on the racetrack. We see Aiden, I think, taking only no tires there, or maybe 2 tires on that number 77 ride, the leapfrog in front of you. So how do you tackle these other 2 drivers now, staying out or keeping, a bit of a different pitch strategy there? How are you going to try to attack these guys on this restart to get yourself back in front? Do you think you can open up that lead like we saw there in that first stage here in stage number 2?
I don't think it can be like the first stage, because, of course, we're going to have to battle and lose that time. But as of now, I got to pass Chris, but as of now, I don't think it. I'm just going to take it easy. I know these guys are fighting pretty hard, especially Aiden and Grant, but yeah, I know their tires have to be at least a little cooked. My rear tires were pretty eaten up, but that also might be because my throttle pedal decided to take something this morning. But I think I'm just going to take it easy and see how it plays out.
Absolutely. Now, with tires being so important here, and obviously that final run being 30 laps, I'm not sure how many sets of tires we have behind the wall there. So we do have 4 sets behind the wall, so you got lots of tires. What's that strategy? Do you come down every 10 laps, or do you maybe try to split that up, do 15 and 15 and before coming down pit road, and trying to maybe save that extra set of tires in case that there's a late race caution flag?
I don't know. I'll see how bad the lap times get, how much I degrade the lap time, and how far I'm out front. If I'm far enough out front, then the last 10 laps I can just kind of take it easy and not use that set of tires on the last pit stop, but because that's basically splitting the fuel in half. But we'll see. This is going to be a big teller how bad these guys' tires are on this restart, because this is about how long we're going to have to go. So we'll see how much of a gap I can build, how bad these guys' tires are. Because the general consensus with people was probably going to stay out and do these bunch of different strategies. So figure it out.
Absolutely. Well, good luck out there, Matthew. congratulations again on winning that pole and also winning the first stage here on the afternoon. Congrats, brother, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth and after stage number 2 and potentially at the end of the year.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Mr. Wood as Matthew coming in, giving us the good love there, getting the webcam on after a big first stage win here on the evening of playoff race number 1 for the number 16 ride. Now restarting here in position number 3 has a couple drivers with older tires there in front of them. We'll have to wait and see how they can hang on and see if those tires can help them out or not, but we did see that tire fall off, you know, pretty insurmountable there during that first run, so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe down seaward, Aiden Lucas maybe taking it easy throughout that first stage, planning on doing this strategy, not taking tires here on this second stint and seeing if they can hold these guys off and maybe save that extra set of tires, keep them in their back pocket for even later in this race and maybe trying to play this strategy a little bit different. As yo, Bones, what's good, Bones? Bones coming in, showing the love, says hello, race fans. How are you, Bones? How you doing this evening? As Justin says, dude has some Red Bull energy to him. Get him a sponsorship. Listen, brother, I want a sponsorship myself. If I'm getting anybody a sponsorship, it's gonna be me. And I mean, I do like Red Bull, but I'm a monster, man. You know, I'm a monster. The rehab monster is the iced tea. You know, the tea and lemonade, man, absolutely minty fresh. I do love the peach tea one as well. Absolutely amazing. They keep us liquidated and hydrated every single one of these broadcasts. Oh, that is refreshing. All right, we're going to get ready here. Stage number 2 about to get back underway as down out at corner number 9 on the racetrack. The pace car will make that hard right-hand turn back down pit side, and we will go down through the Geico Research Zone and back to Green Flag Racing here at Watkins Glen International Speedway. Quickly going 3 wide here at the front of the field. The 16 of Matthew Wood quickly jumping back out in front. He makes quick work of the 77 rider Aiden Lucas. Dallas Seward, unfortunately, already sliding back here quite a bit. The 38 rider, I'm not sure that strategy is going to play out for him or not, as he already slides back into about that 15th position on the racetrack. Now sliding even farther back. There's one of those drivers, though, that was happy to see that stage break. The 9 rider Noah Blackwell. Blackwell was one of those drivers collected in that calamity here through the bus stop around lap number 6 or 5 out there on the racetrack, and that heavy front end damage came down pit side with a lap down, but that caution flag getting him the free pass back onto the lead lap here is exactly what he was looking for out of that 9 machine. Right now, the only driver that has scored a lap down or multiple laps down is Chris Gantz. Unfortunate break here for one of our playoff drivers is Gantz running into some issues here. We also see Evan Stewart down off the racetrack, able to keep that car pointing the right direction, though, hanging on to the 12th position here on the speedway is Matthew Wood picking right up where he left off, and that is out in front of the field by Aiden Lucas doing a great job here. Now, I'm not sure if Aiden took 2-tire pit strategy there on that pit stop, or I don't know, he came from, you know, outside the top 10 to being able to take this race lead basically away from Matthew Wood. He beat Wood off of pit lane and everybody else, so this is definitely very interesting. As AG Jaden says, can you turn your mic up a bit? Yeah, I can turn my mic up a little bit. I don't think it's usually that quiet, but maybe it's just on your end. I feel like it's usually pretty good, but we can definitely turn it up a little bit more there. You guys just let me know up in the comments section if it's too loud or too quiet. I'm not too sure. I can't hear myself through the broadcast, so I don't really know, but look out, there goes Applegate. Oh, brother. Grant Applegate, the Red Bull Toyota ride, going for a loop here out of corner number 6 on the speedway here. I believe that's corner number 6. Could be normal corner number 7, but unfortunate break there for the 57 ride. Let's take a look here at Grant Applegate as he goes around. This is a tough break for one of our playoff drivers here, battling hard for position number 3, working down low underneath the AdminBoxx number 29. They both get a little sideways right there, but the 57 run, unfortunately, as he's sideways trying to correct it, the car shoots up the racetrack here, and then he's trying to correct it again. And there's a whole lot of just trying to keep this car pointed in the right direction. Finally, it snaps around on him here. He does a great job locking it down, though, not rolling back out really onto the racetrack here where he could have been T-boned, could have been taken out. This is a chokehold area on the racetrack here, where if he's sideways parked there in the middle of the racetrack right there, it's tough. It's hard for drivers to try to find a lane to get around him there, and that could have caused a lot more damage for the 41. We also saw William Connolly go around here and hard up into the fence here himself in the exact same spot. So, not sure if there was contact here between himself and Evan Stewart, but they do have some contact, and oh man, that was a bit of a wild ride right there for the 25 ride of Connolly. Connolly going for a wild one right there. Let's see if we can hop on board here with this 25. I don't know if he washes up the racetrack here or just, oh man, that's a tough hit right there. Quite a bit of damage for that 25. Now, I'm not sure if the 37 comes down or if he kind of comes up or if they both just kind of run out of room right there, but they're battling hard door to door through this corner, and yeah, looks like the 25 kind of coming up, 37 kind of coming down. They just run out of room. Unfortunately, they tang each other, and around goes that F-Cancer number 25 right. A tough break right there for William Connolly, as we do see Applegate down pit side. Aiden Lucas also down pit road here as well. So a few more drivers making some pit stops here, as Lucas down pit road, Grant Applegate down pit side, William Connolly down pit road. Now let's see where it unfortunately now finds himself a lap down as well, after I do believe he came down pit road himself. So you were down pit side there as well. So a lot of these drivers making some unscheduled pit stops and running into issues out there on the racetrack. Definitely not how they wanted things to go here for them. We also saw Jonathan Gaston running into issues going off the racetrack as well, as yeah, just gets a little loose right there through the bus stop, down through the grass. There's a couple of hops, skips, and jumps. Able to keep that car in one piece, though, and out of too much trouble. So that's at least a good break there for the number 72 ride. Is out in front. Matthew Wood continuing to lead the way, as Jaden says, damn it, there goes my Red Bull sponsor. Oh no, Ghost Energy better than Red Bull and Monster? I don't know about that one, brother. That one's that's a hot take right there. Loud and clear here with the gorgeous sound of gallons of gas exploding. Oh gosh, gallons of gas exploding. Oh my gosh, we don't want to. You don't want to hear that. That's definitely not what you want to hear. As why is it all of my drivers? Aiden, I don't know, brother. It was a tough time right there for your drivers out there on the speedway, man. That was a bit of a rough lap right there. Everyone kind of running into some issues, and just says because Stange is going to win it. Still cheering on Chris Stange. Stange is in second. He's running pretty good, but Jordan Hand right here behind him. Hand looking very strong as well in that Optic Texas, the Optic Gaming MJPDesigns.com ride. They're in position number 3. He had a goal in mind here, just running up towards the front of the field, earning some good stage points and trying to finish off this race in a good standings. And so far, Jordan Hand's done a pretty good job at it, but out in front, no one better than this 16 ride of Matthew Wood. Wood just trying to run away with it here again and looking to see if he can try to put himself into victory lane here this evening. If he can pick up the win, he can lock himself right on through into the next round of the playoffs, and that would be big for the driver that already has the most points here, the most bonus points coming into our playoffs, as everything gets balanced back out to 0, and then it comes down to all of those bonus points at the end of each of these rounds. So coming into this race, having that big points lead, already picking up some bonus points for the next round, plus picking up some good points here for the for this round of the playoffs as well. And with a win, can lock himself in, earn himself even more, stage points here, and earn himself some more bonus points for the next round of the playoffs as well. And that could set him up for different strategies going into these next 2 races, where he won't have to pit early or anything else. He can just focus on earning stage points, earning those extra bonus points to go towards his playoff runs in the next rounds, where he could start the next round with that 40-50 point bonus ahead of the second place driver even, as that would definitely be absolutely wild, and I think that's exactly what Matthew wants to have. He wants to just be able to keep on banking these bonus points, being able to use those towards his ticket, towards our championship races, and trying to put himself into a position to pick up the championship here in 2024. Is Matthew Wood out in front. Chris Stage about 11 seconds back. Is Stage there in that second position, as we do see that caution flag come back out. So the second stage is coming to a close here. So stage number 2 coming to an end. Is Dude Guy coming in with the like on the stream as well. How are you, Dude Guy? Dude Guy coming in, showing the big love. Brian, how are you, brother? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day. Is stage number 2 going to come to a close? Matthew Wood, again, another bonus point for the playoffs, and another 10 points for the stage win here in this one. Chris Stage going to come home in second. He'll earn 9 stage points. Jordan Hand there in third. He will earn 8 stage points here on the evening. Ryan Underwood there in fourth. Landon Burbage there in fifth. Then we see Thomas Horvath, Dylan Carrier, Josh Crider, Noah Blackwell earning him 2 stage points. In our final stage point would go to Paul LaCour. Unfortunately, LaCour not in the playoffs here this year, so a tough break for the 41 ride, as LaCour does finish off in the 10th position, but keeps a lot of these other drivers back there behind him, and potentially keeping a few of these drivers away from stage points here in the playoffs, or for the second stage in the playoffs. As Matthew Wood, another stage win, another great run there for him. We would pull him back in here, but already picking up a couple stage wins. He's been doing pretty good here in this race. Let's see if we can get one of our other drivers in here to see, kind of what's going through their mind. Let's see if we can get Jordan Hand up and into the broadcast booth. Jordan currently sitting in that third spot. Let's see if we can get him up here into the booth for another good run, another solid performance there in stage number 2. Where is Jordan Hand? There he is. Let's jump over here. Hey, Jordan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
What's going on, brother?
Not much. Jordan, man, you had a goal in mind here for the evening to be able to run up towards the front of the field, gain those spots from the qualifying session, and just kind of earn some of these stage points and put yourself into a decent position here after the first 20 laps. And so far, mission accomplished, man. I do believe coming home in 4th there in stage number 1 and coming home 3rd here in stage number 2, earning yourself, a good handful of stage points on the evening. Is going to be feeling pretty good right now, knowing that you had to earn as many points as you could here on the night.
Yeah, man. Like I said, just consistent. That's just the name of the game, especially these road courses. Got a little bit lucky there, man. There was a few wrecks in front of me. We're lucky we were able to dodge them. So I'll take it. But just keep it up, hopefully, and dodge all the craziness that happens. Hopefully, we don't get run over on this next restart, and we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. I'll ask you another question here. I'll wait for you to get in your pit box, though.
Ah, you're good, brother.
All right, perfect.
You can ask.
Man, so far, though, a pretty good race. A lot of great battling out there, man. How do you attack this final stage, knowing that there's 30 laps of racing action, no more stage breaks, so really not a lot of caution flags to potentially come up. What are you going to do? How do you got to hit your marks to be able to try to put yourself, maybe into the winner's circle or up here on the podium here this evening?
Honestly, as dumb as it may sound, don't mirror drive. I think a lot of people have been mirror driving, and that's when they screw up here. And so just... don't make no mistakes yourself. Hopefully, you just dodge other people's mistakes, if that makes sense. So we'll just go out there, run our race, and we'll just see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, keep it clean, keep it green out there on the racetrack, Jordan. Good luck, and hopefully we'll talk to you back up here in the broadcast booth at the end of the evening, brother, and, have some fun out there as well, and hopefully a good finish here to finish off what's already been a very strong afternoon.
Absolutely, brother. Take it easy.
Alrighty, Jordan Hand coming home there in position number 3 there to finish off that stage. So far, a pretty good run, a pretty solid effort out there on the speedway for that number 1 machine, as comes home in that 3rd spot there at the end of stage number 2. Earned himself those extra stage points, and those all come very, very, not always often, not very often you can earn a lot of stage points on a night. So Jordan off to a great start. And he's one of those drivers that was really looking forward to it. Let's take another look here at our playoff standings here. Really give you guys a good look at, what these drivers had coming into the evening. Now, obviously, Matthew Wood already having a great day, earning himself those 20 points for the stage wins, in both those stage wins, plus the bonus points of the stage wins, really bolting him farther forward here in the standings, as he's already came into this race in first place. But if he can pick up the win, or if one of these other drivers that are in our playoffs can get a win here this afternoon, if they can steal it away from Matthew Wood, they can lock themselves into that next stage of the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see if Matthew Wood can keep himself at the front of the field, or if one of these other playoff drivers can work themselves forward. But you take a look there, one of those first drivers highlighted in orange is Jordan Hand. He came into the evening 2 points back of what would be a transfer position. Now, Chris Getz has definitely not had the night he's been hoping for here, and same with William Connolly, really not having the run that they were hoping for on the evening. Grant Applegate running into some issues there at the end of stage number 2, really opening up the door here for the drivers like, Jordan Hand and Thomas Horvath, Chris Stange to really jolt forward here in those point standings and potentially put themselves into a pretty good playoff position after this evening. So we'll have to get ready to see what they can do here for the rest of the night, see where everything shapes up and how these playoffs come to a close here in our first playoff race. See how this first playoff race comes to a close here this evening, as we're going to get ready here for our final stage of the day. These drivers getting ready for a big restart, and we see a few of those drivers that ran into issues there in that middle portion of stage number 2 now out in front. So Grant Applegate, William Connolly 1 and 2 here on the speedway. Dylan Carrier, one of the first cars off of pit lane here, so a bit of different strategy for the Bass Pro Shops. Number 88 Ryan, as you'll start there in position number 3. To his outside is our stage 1 and stage 2 winner, the 16 of Matthew Wood. Then we see Chris Stange, Jordan Hand there in 6, Brian Underwood, Aiden Lucas, the 54 of Thomas Horvath there in position number 9. Josh Crider there to his outside. Noah Blackwell, Ben Gleason, Evan Stewart, Jonathan Gaston, Paul LaCourte, Landon Burbage, Dallas Seward, Nathan Brookover, and the 87 of Chris Getz bringing up the rear of the field here in this one. As we will get them ready to rock and roll, we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing as the lights are once again off the official iRacing safety car, that beautiful Porsche machine here at the front of the field. As these drivers get ready to go to battle, they get ready to duke it out here once again on the evening here, as we roll up closer and closer to our halfway marker here. We get closer and closer to that halfway point. These drivers getting ready to be unleashed here on this beautiful Watkins Glen International Speedway. Our final stage of the day about to get underway as the pace car makes the hard right-hand turn down pit side. We will head down through the Geico restart zone, and we are quickly back to green flag racing, our final stage of the evening here with the Premium Stunt Car Racing League. Is down into quarter number 1. Everyone trying to get through there nice and smooth, nice and easy, door to door, though still at the front of the field. Here comes Wood trying to edge forward in front of the 88, not in that prime spot, but now in that best position here through that second corner, through the S's. It's a great run here to the outside of the 57 of Applegate. Applegate trying to stay right there with them, trying to keep that preferred line going into this first corner of the bus stop, but Wood just going to put the power down, and Matthew Wood quickly up into position number 2. So William Connolly out in front, leading the way. The F-Cancer machine at the front of the field. The 25 right out in front. Wood trying to hunt him down. Applegate back now into third. Dylan Carrier there in fourth with Chris Stange rounding out our top 5. Jordan Hand finds himself sitting pretty here in position number 6 with Brian Underwood, Thomas Horvath, Josh Crider, and Ben Gleason rounding out our top 10. But some contact back there behind him. One of our playoff drivers collected. The 2 of Landon Burbage. Burbage, heavy damage here on that McDonald's number 2 machine. Let's take a look back and see what happens here. Is heavy contact down into this corner. Looks like him and Paul LaCourte door to door here. Not sure what happens, but LaCourte and the 2 just not jumping off each other. The 2 ride trying to have that inside positioning here. This looks like LaCour trying to turn left early into the corner, just gets into him and creates this contact. That's a tough break right there as both drivers storming down here. You see this big run from the 2 ride, able to get the inside advantage. 41 just kind of comes down a little early here and makes contact there with that right rear quarter panel of the 2 ride, and they drive together up and off the racetrack here, up onto the apron, almost into the sand trap here. Heavy damage for both LaCour and for the 2 of Burbage right there as they come to a stop up there in the outside of corner number 7, I think, something like that. I don't know what number that is, but whatever number of the racetrack is right there, but that is a tough break for both of these cats. Let's take a look on board here with Paul LaCour, see what we can see from the cockpit of the number 41 ride. Take a look here. It's right here, doesn't really see him, but he's trying to get left, and unfortunately trying to break off of him there, trying to keep off of him, and unfortunately they just make more contact here, and unfortunate damage, unfortunate contact for both of those contenders, and unfortunately for one of our playoff drivers in Mr. Landon Burbage running into issues out there on the racetrack. Now, I'm not sure how much damage this number 2 ride's going to have, but he is unfortunately back now, scored in the 16th position, and right there behind him is our race leader, Matthew Wood. Wood out in front was able to get around William Connolly, so move Connolly back into position number 2 on the speedway. Now trying to hold off the number 57 of Grant Applegate. Applegate trying to work himself back up into second, but we did see the 8 ride go for a loop here as well. It's the Gas and Die Racing Graphics Premium Stock Car Racing League number 8 ride goes for a skid there, and likely enough able to keep himself out of the wall, keep that car rolling here, but does go back around, trying to get this car pointed back in the right direction. Finally gets it rolling there the right way, so a tough break there for Nathan Brookover. Then we see Paul LaCour now running into issues out there on the racetrack as well. LaCour in the 41 has that front end damage already here for this 41 machine. I'm not sure, yeah, it just looks like down low, getting onto the throttle, goes around, noses that car into the inside fence again. A little bit of front end damage there again for him as the ASHR ride gets rolling on the speedway, builds up that speed, gets rolling here on the racetrack, and keeps on battling out there on the speedways. Connolly doing a great job here. Connolly sitting there in position number 2. Grant Applegate there in third. Hasn't been able to find a way around that 25 ride. So Connolly with some track position, doing a pretty good job here as we do see the 6 of Brian Underwood go up, miss that corner there in the bus stop, having to go down through the infield grass, going to lose a few spots here on the racetrack as he was battling up there, trying to work himself towards the top 5. It's Chris Stange, Thomas Horvath there in 4th and 5th, George Hand back in 6th, and then we see Bangaleeks in that 6 right of Brian Underwood, the 5 of Josh Crider, and Evan Stewart, our top 10 here on the speedway. Dylan Carrier back there in 11th, has Jonathan Gaston right there behind him. Dallas Stewart currently scored in the 13th position with Paul LaCour. Nathan Brookover there in position number 15. Landon Burbage there in the 16th position, hoping to see a caution flag. Same with Noah Blackwell, as Blackwell has unfortunately went a lap down again here. Not sure what happened to Blackwell. We did see Dylan Carrier run into issues as well, possibly missing the bus stop here as well for the 88 ride. He was up inside the top 5 for that 88 ride. Yeah, gets loose. Oh, hard contact as well into the inside wall right there, into the bus stop. Heavy front end damage for the 88 ride. So a lot of drivers unfortunately running into some issues here. We also saw Noah Blackwell, Aiden Lucas run into some issues. Let's take a look at this one as Aiden Lucas in the Beyond Detailing 77 ride, that Camaro to the outside of Noah Blackwell. They get tied together. They get hard up into the outside fence as well. Oh man, heavy damage there. Look at that big run right there for a lot of these cats trying to get through there, but heavy damage for Aiden Lucas. Heavy damage there for the number 9 rider, Noah Blackwell as well. That's how Noah Blackwell, unfortunately, down a lap now, is right here. Both drivers too wide up through the S's, up the hill here. They're going to make some contact, and unfortunately, as they do, it just kind of hooks the 77 ride around the nose of the 9 and up into the outside fence here, and heavy damage for both contenders. And a great piece of driving here by a lot of these cats, be able to work themselves through this, be able to get around all this contact and carnage here. So Landon Burbage was in there, the 41 right there as well, able to avoid it. More drivers right there just snaking their way through that, man. As this could be a whole day, just looking at replays and drivers running into issues out there on the speedway. You see Noah Blackwell before that. He was kind of collected in this wreck and had that damage, man. That's heavy hits right there. Both Aiden Lucas and Noah Blackwell, both drivers having massive contact, massive damage, taking their cars down pit side. Haven't worked on two, and we now see a few more drivers headed down pit road. One of those being Dallas Stewart on pit lane. Paul LaCourte also down pit side here as well in the 41 ride. Some more issues out there on the racetrack. Let's take a look here and see what may have happened here as Paul LaCourte chasing down the 9 right of Blackwell, gets close to his back bumper, and then they both kind of just lose it out of the bus stop there. Heavy damage again for Paul LaCourte. LaCourte, his second stage here, not going so well for him, as couple mistakes out there on the racetrack, unfortunately going around a few times, and quite a bit of front end damage there for him as he gets a big run, and he's actually going to get a piece of that 9 run, make the contact with Blackwell. That's what spins Blackwell down the racetrack and up into the outside fence here, down the back straightaway, and LaCourte hard in there as well. But you do see that contact between Blackwell and LaCourte there as it's a big run into the corner, really flying in here. Let's see if we can jump on board with them. He's chasing down the Cartoon Network NJP Designs ride, and it's into the back end of him. Unfortunate contact, and they both go around in heavy damage there. You hear the engine actually expiring there on that 41, which has him down pit side for an extended period of time. It actually looks like he's taking that car off of the speedways. Now we do see the number 88 rider Dylan Carrier down pit road. Nathan Brookover down pit side as well. So a lot of drivers running some different strategies. A lot of drivers running into issues out there on the speedway. A lot of cats running into some bad things out there, as Justin Young says, hot dang, it's a storm of chaos. Yes, Sirski, as Jaden says again, why is it all of my cars? I'm going to have a stern talking to them. Yeah, you're going to have a stern talking to them, man. Get them figured out. No, I'm just kidding. Without being a troll, I feel for you, AG. Yeah. It's tough, man. When you see your drivers, your friends, and everything else out there struggling, man, it's tough. It's tough, man. And you know, even if you're the leader of the crew or anything else, you're not there to try to keep them in line or anything else. Or even sometimes it's even tougher, you know, having Aiden out there or Jaden out there and being battling with these guys. You know, sometimes Jaden, I'm sure, probably you know, has to hear a handful of different words being thrown around in some anger and everything else throughout the microphone and throughout the Discord. So, you know, you got to deal with that, with a lot of the issues, and you know, being a team leader or anything else, or even just part of the teams, you know, sometimes it's a little tougher. But I'm sure one team right now that's having a good time is the team of Matthew Wood here, as Wood continues to lead the way. Matthew out in front, continuing to show these drivers how to get it done, as at least Matthew, part of the AG Motorsports here, the AG Motorsports crew. I mean, Aiden Lucas running into issues, Evan Stewart, Grant Applegate, Landon Burbage, all running into issues, but Matthew Wood, he's one driver that, for AG, Mr. Jaden, one driver that hasn't ran into issues, knock on wood, so far here this evening, is Matthew Wood. As Matthew Wood once again out in front, out to almost another 11-second gap between himself and Grant Applegate. Is Applegate there in second, William Connolly there in third. Then we see Chris Stange there in fourth, Jordan Hand now inside the top 5 here, as the laps continue to get clicked down more and more and more. About 18 laps left to go here in this race. 17 the next time by for our race leader, as Jaden says, I'll tell you which team isn't having a good time. I'm assuming there's a few teams that are probably not having a good time out there. That is for certain. There's probably a lot of drivers that are cursing this racetrack for being one of our playoff tracks here this year. I'm sure there's a few of them that are really loving it, including that number 16 of Matthew Wood. I'm sure Wood is really enjoying this race. I'm sure he's having a great time at the front of the field, just laying down absolutely insane lap times and continuing to stretch his race lead out more and more and more. Well, he's on a nice little Sunday cruise here on a Saturday night and looking to try to put another one of our playoff drivers a lap down, as that is the 88 of Dylan Carrier right there in front of him. I'm sure Matthew wouldn't feel too heartbroken putting the 88 ride a lap down out there on the racetrack, and I'm sure Dylan's going to try to keep him there at bay, but now he's going to pull up out of the way, knowing that the 16 ride, definitely the faster car. Going to see if he can try to mirror what he's doing, maybe try to find that line, find that groove that the 16 ride's doing, and try to mirror what he's rolling out there on the racetrack to keep himself here in this free pass position. Now, I'm sure Matthew would honestly love to keep Dylan back there a lap down, but I think that's going to hurt him and his team a little bit more, as now Landon Burbage on the outside of a transfer spot here, or a free pass position on the racetrack. So if a caution flag were to fly, it would go to Dylan Carrier here and not the two of Landon Burbage. So that's going to hurt his teammate out there on the racetrack. Tell Woods he needs to pit for tires. I don't know if Wood has to pit ever again. If he has the fuel, he might better just stay out there and keep on coasting till the very end here, as we do see a few more drivers make their way down pit side. Here comes William Connolly, Josh Crider, Thomas Horvath, all coming down pit road as well. So drivers kind of split in this final stage. They had about 30 laps there in this final run of the evening, and drivers have kind of split this up a little bit, coming down maybe a little earlier than that halfway marker, maybe trying to see if they can, get a better run, maybe gain some spots and leapfrog some other drivers that are in front of them that are going to stay out a little longer with those fresh tires. So we'll have to wait and see how that strategy plays out here for a bunch of these cats on the speedway. He says, laughing loud, nah, he should really pit. Yeah, he really should. A 12-second gap now between himself and our second place driver, Grant Applegate. Is Applegate there in second? Chris Stain, shorthand, now battling door to door here for position number 3 on the speedway. This is a great fight, and right now looks like using that outside lane and not getting pinched off there by the 87. A good veteran move by Chris Gens to just kind of get up and out of the way there to allow our playoff drivers on through, but the 29 going to give that spot up and now make his way down pit side. So Chris Stange down pit road. Jordan Hand will work himself back up into third. Ben Gleason there in fourth, as we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume. Cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. We'll give you the sights and sounds around the beautiful Watkins Glen International Speedway. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for all of these drivers. A beautiful crank it up session right there, giving us a good look at the sights and sounds around the beautiful Watkins Glen International Speedway. These drivers giving us a good inside look on what they're doing behind the wheel out there on the racetrack. A huge thank you to each and every one of those drivers having their webcams hooked up for us, including Josh Crider with the foot cam there as well, giving us a really good look and a really good view of what these drivers are doing to navigate and get themselves around this beautiful racetrack, as we do ride on board here with the 88 rider Dylan Carrier out there on the speedway, looking pretty strong, pretty solid out there on the racetrack is CJ Jeffries, my boy CJ, coming in, dropping that like on the stream. How are you, CJ? How you doing, brother? Coming in, showing the love, smashing that like on the stream. I appreciate it, my boy. I appreciate you coming in, showing the love here in this one. As man, so far some great racing all around the racetrack, but everybody is trying to chase down this number 16 as Matthew Wood continues to lead the way. Wood out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done, as he's out to about a 25-second lead here. About 24 seconds. We'll give Applegate a little bit of credit here, as he's out in front by 24 seconds that time by the start-finish line. Only 5 more laps left to go as Mama Bear cheered on that number 16 rider Matthew Wood out there on the speedway. How are you, Mama Bear? Coming in, showing the love earlier as well. Coming in, cheering on that 16 ride as the Racers for Christ machine rolls there in position number 1 and looking to just kind of keep on cruising here. He can probably put this car into cruise control here and just coast around the racetrack here for the next 5 laps, as he's got almost a 25-second lead between himself and Grant Applegate. Applegate here in position number 2 with William Connolly in third here, giving himself a great day in the speedway there in that third position. Then we see Thomas Horvath there in position number 4 and looking for more. Brian Underwood in position number 5. Jordan Hand there in 6th, and then we see Ben Gleason back in 7th, Chris Stage there in 8th, Evan Stewart and Josh Crider rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Dylan Carrier currently scored there in the 11th position with Jonathan Gaston there in position number 12. Gaston is unfortunately one of those drivers that is currently a lap down out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately finds himself a lap down out there on the speedway, but currently I do believe he is in that free pass spot. So if a caution flag were to fly, he could get that free pass and back onto the lead lap here, as we do see Dallas Seward right there behind him in position number 13. He's not in that free pass spot as of right now, so the battle's on there between him and the 32 for what could be our free pass if a caution flag were to fly. Landon Burbage back here in the 14th position after his run ends and his extended time down pit road here for the number 2 run, getting some damage repaired. Same with the 77 of Aiden Lucas there in 15th. Nathan Brookover currently in 16th is Noah Blackwell sitting there in 17th, and we see Chris Getz in the 18th position, and Paul LaCourte off of the racetrack here. He's looking his car back behind pit wall, scored back in the 19th position on the speedway. But it's all Matthew Wood here in this one, as Matthew Wood continues to lead the way. He's now put Dylan Carrier a lap down here on the racetrack, so a tough break there for the Bass Pro Shop. The club points number 88 right. Unfortunately, the club car ride, the NJB Designs machine, now down a lap, but he's in that free pass position. If there were a caution flag late in this race, it could propel him into that lucky dog now, where he could get that free pass back onto the lead lap and back into the thick of things here this evening, especially for a driver that's trying to roll himself inside the top 10 here. And it's exactly what he'd love to see. He'd love to see that caution flag, but unfortunately, being such a big racetrack and being localized caution flags around certain parts of the speedway, you know, to get that full course caution flag, you really need a lot of drivers to kind of get tangled together. And for the 88 ride right now, it may be a little bit bleak here in this one, as he's got a 28-second gap between himself and our 10th place driver, Josh Crider. Crider rolling there in 10th. Sees Evan Stewart not too far in front of him here, hoping to try to catch up, as we do see the 8 ride. That's Nathan Brookover turned around there in corner number 1. The 8 ride pointed the wrong direction. A little bit of front end damage there for Brookover. Gets that car pointed back in the right direction and gets a roll in here once again. We did see Dallas Stewart run into some issues here as well, as he was trying to battle there with the 72 rider Jonathan Gaston. For end of the time was a free pass position. He gets in a little too deep, gets onto the binders, locks that car up hard. Contact into that inside fence there as well, into the bus stop. Able to get that car rolling though, trying to slide and keep it pointing the right direction through that slick grass. And luckily enough, he does get it going here. And you see a lot of cars go around him there. Unfortunately, now they're no longer in a free pass position for that 38 ride. But time's running out for any of these drivers to try and get a free pass, to try to see a caution flag fly as Matthew Wood out in front. That lead has grown now to about 28.5 seconds between himself and Grant Applegate. Applegate all the way down here going through the S as well. Matthew Wood's slowly but surely reeling him in to the final couple quarters on the racetrack. So it just shows you how big of a gap he really has here between himself and our second place driver. There's Matthew Wood. Here's our second place driver going through the bus stops right now, just exiting the bus stops for that 57 to Grant Applegate. Well, Matthew Wood is just going down the front straightaway here, probably about half a track of difference, and we do see that white flag fly. So one more time around here for Matthew Wood as the get saved, the John 316 Camaro. Matthew Wood, the Racers for Christ ride, out in front, and he's only got one more lap left to get it done. He can probably get to the top of the hill right here, shut that car off, and cruise to the win here this evening, out in front by almost 30 seconds now between himself and Grant Applegate. Applegate just seeing that white flag flying there, going by the start finish line. He's got Thomas Horvath there behind him in position number 3. William Connolly there in position number 4 with Jordan Hand rounding out our top 5. Ben Gleason there in 6 with Brian Underwood, Chris Stange, and Vince Stewart, and the 5 ride of Josh Crider rounding out our top 10. And our top 10 still on the lead lap, but you can see this 16 ride already going down the back straightaway here. He is almost done. This race is down through our final couple corners. He's going to go out of this one and down into our final corner here at Watkins Glen International Speedway. Matthew Wood out of the final corner and down the front straightaway here at Watkins Glen International Speedway. It's the 16 of Matthew Wood who's going to pick up the win after a dominating day here at the Glen, and he will punch his ticket right on through to our second round of the NASCAR playoffs here this year. As I'm not sure who that was. I think that was Dylan Carrier who sent it in there, trying to tag him or something. I don't know. He went flying, rocket launchered himself into the corner 1 wall, but Matthew Wood is going to get ready to celebrate after a absolutely insane win here this evening, man. That was a hell of a run, hell of a performance. He was quarter of a second away from having a 30-second lead between himself and Grant Applegate, man. That was a absolutely dominating run, absolutely dominating performance here by that 16 ride all evening long. Matthew Wood with a heck of a run. Applegate with a great drive coming home in second, and Thomas Horvath coming home in position number 3 for a driver that was on the outside of the playoffs. Looking in here, one of those drivers that needed to have a good run, needed to have a good day here at Watkins Glen to try to, earn those points and help his case out to make it into the second round of the playoffs. For him to be able to jump up here, come home in that 3rd position, definitely the day that he was looking for, is Matthew Wood continuing to celebrate out there on the racetrack, the 16 ride. Getting it done here in this one, man. I don't know if anyone had a doubt in their mind that Matthew Wood wasn't going to be the driver in victory lane here this evening or not, but nonetheless, he is the one to do it here this evening. As Complete Motorsports coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream, and same with Chris Peters, my boy Chris, coming in, showing the big love as well with the like on the stream. I appreciate that, Complete Motorsports. I appreciate that, Mr. Chris Peters, coming in, showing the love with the reactions over there on Facebook. Is, man, what a run, what a drive, what a performance here all evening long for Matthew Wood. Is he's going to be pretty pumped. He's going to be pretty excited picking up the win here this evening, picking up the win here in this one, man. He's going to be absolutely ecstatic about getting this one. As, man, what a run, what a drive, what a finish there for Matthew Wood here this evening. As my boy Dylan SSJ Logic says, I was screaming raise hell, praise Dale as I rocketed into corner number 1. Oh, brother, I can only imagine. What did you hit there? You had to have been doing at least like 150, 160 down the front straightaway into quarter number 1 without lifting, man. That was absolutely insane. That was like Who we see have a big crash that was kind of like that not too long ago. I want to say we saw like Jimmy Johnson or something a long time ago have a wild wreck like that here at Watkins Glen, or one of the road courses way back in his early days. But I want to say there's been a few other drivers that have ran into issues like that where, you know, the throttle hangs or the brakes give out or something like that down into corner number 1, and they go flying into that outside fence there in corner number 1 here at Watkins Glen. But Matthew Wood picking up the win. He's pretty pumped picking up this win here this evening. He just left the simulator, so we'll have to wait and see. Looks like he's turning his lights off and on here. We'll see if he's just taking a quick pee break or not before we pull him up here into the broadcast booth. That's Matthew waiting patiently down pit side after picking up the win here this evening. Let's get him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Matthew, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yeah.
Matthew, man, a dominating win here this evening as you were the reflection of perfection time and time again, even with the couple stage caution flags, bringing everyone back together, some different pitch strategies and everything else. Nobody was catching you here this afternoon as you cruise home to an almost 30-second lead between yourself and Grant Applegate, our second place driver here this evening, man. Take us back through this race and what's going through your mind knowing that you just picked up that big win. You earned yourself a ton of bonus points on the day, and you also punched your ticket straight on through to the second round of our Premium Stunt Car Racing League playoffs.
Yeah, definitely a good race for me. I don't know if it's not the best, but you know me, I love road courses, and they said it was impossible to drift through the S's, and I tried it, and I made it a little bit, and I tried to drift the rest of the lap, and it was killed. But no, I like the varied strategies. Happy for Grant, he did a great job. I hate it again. I hate it for both Aiden and Landon. Landon especially, he was as quick as me, to be honest with you. Like he just wasn't in the practice, but he was as quick as me, and not sure what all happened, but I know Noah wrecked him, Paul wrecked him, Brian did something, something else happened, and it just, I mean, it's awful. It's awful, man. He had so much confidence going into here, it's not even funny. But we have Talladega, and Talladega, we're gonna push him. I'm gonna try to help him as much as I can, because if not even a spot into the next round, this man deserves at least, you know, a win, something, a good finish, but mainly to get into the next round and a win. After all I've seen him go through this year, not only on the racetrack but off of it, so I want to help him.
Absolutely, brother. I mean, a tough break there for Landon Burbage all evening long, and then we saw a few of our other playoff drivers run into issues as well, including Chris Getz and Noah Blackwell, and you know, even a few of the other contenders right there just in front of them. Josh Crider, Dylan Carrier, probably not having the days that they were really hoping for, but you know, obviously these road courses isn't everybody's bread and butter, and when you can take advantage of a road course like this, especially in the playoffs, it's tough to give those points up to continue to not have that day that you're hoping for there. So a tough break for Landon, but a great day for yourself as you bring it home here in that first place. You pick up the win, and now you can kind of focus on whether or not you want to just run for stage points, earn those extra bonus points in the next couple of races, but also to try to help your teammates out, to help make them, you know, that much better, maybe get them into the next round of the playoffs as well here this year. So, I mean, you got a lot of work to do, but there's obviously a lot of room to try to, you know, make some moves, make some things happen, especially when we go to a racetrack like Talladega, where if we don't see the big one, we see it kind of go clean and green for a long period of time, and things kind of get broken up with those pit stops. You know, you can really work together with you and all your teammates and trying to push that to right to land into a great finish or a win, you know, in a couple weeks or next week, whenever that race is. But it can also be another big question mark race as well on the season when get running door to door, 2 wide, 3 wide out there on the racetrack. Anything can happen. One wrong push, one wrong move. It's a big question mark for a lot of drivers and a lot of the competitors that are, not locked into the next round of the playoffs, as you're the only one locked in. You're the only one that has that ticket punched into the second round. So you can kind of take that seat backwards and kind of just take a breather and not have to worry about, point standings or anything else going into that Talladega race with a big question mark hanging over top of it for everybody.
Yeah, that's something that I think all drivers can, agree on, that when you're locked into the playoffs, the one round that you want to be locked into the playoffs is the super speedway, because like you said, I mean, anything can happen. Of course, I think, I forget who it was. It was the NASCAR executive and some other drivers as well. It's not, you have to be good at super speedways. Like there's certain people that just understand it more than others, and they're going to be up there every single week. But when you're stuck in the middle of the pack, you're just kind of going with the circumstances, and if there's a wreck, there's a wreck. So, we don't have to worry about that. But now I have to worry about Landon. I have to worry about all my other teammates like Grant. Of course, Hayden missed the playoffs, unfortunately, but I was focused on them.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Matthew, another big win, another great race here for you at Watkins Glen International Speedway, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and great performance here this afternoon?
Well, me and Landon just practiced together really all week. Just the whole league in general. All the drivers for moving out of my, just getting out of the way when they're a lap down for not only me, but everybody else as well. Thank the Lord for the opportunity. Thank everybody that supports me. And now I'll go and look at all these incidents.
Absolutely, brother. Well, enjoy the win, enjoy the dub here this afternoon from Watkins Glen. Don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane. Still a lot of work left here for you in these Premium Stock Car Racing League playoffs. But Matthew, off to a hot start, off to a good note here in race number 1. Congratulations on the win. We look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack next Saturday.
All right, thank you. God bless.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Mr. Wood as Matthew picking up the win, pulling that number 16 right up into victory lane here this evening as Dylan says, I hit the jump at 167 miles an hour. That's absolutely insane. I'm glad it's not a real car. I'm glad it's not a real car, a real driver, else that one would cause a ton of damage and potentially be a bad day to say the least for somebody behind the wheel of a car going that fast head on into a wall. I don't care how many tires are there, man. That is going to hurt no matter what. As we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher here, the Red Bull Racing number 57, Grant Applegate, coming home here in position number 2. We're going to pull him up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Grant, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, I do.
Grant, man, a great run and a great drive for you here in this one as you're able to get this 57 ride back up to the front of the field. Obviously, we saw you have a great first stage of the day. Then that second stage ran into a little bit of issues there out of the, I want to say the bus turn right there. And unfortunately, as you kind of come out of there, you get spun around, you got to wait for all the traffic to kind of go around you. By the time you get, rocking and rolling again, get that car pointing in the right direction, you come down pit side and unfortunately miss out on that second stage points here on the evening. But you're able to rebound here in this final stage, put yourself into a little bit of clean air, have that track position again, and able to keep yourself here in position number 2, man. Take us back through the race, and how you feeling here after that first race of the playoffs, knowing that you're able to come out of here with a solid second place run and at least some decent stage points on the day?
I felt pretty good, honestly. It felt like strategy-wise, I was going to get third and everything, but Landon had his issues and Horvath had his issues, so second place kind of opened up to me and got second in that first stage. And honestly, in the second stage, I was going to pit anyway and was going to just forfeit the stage points to have the track position for the final stage. So, I mean, second in the first stage and second in the race was kind of my plan from the start. So, I mean, I maximized the points I thought I was fast enough to get. So I'll take it and move on to Dega with hopefully a pretty decent gap.
Absolutely. Now, after earning some of those stage points and a good finish here this afternoon, going into a Talladega race, with such a big question mark over top of it, not knowing what's going to happen or what the turn of events could be that could, potentially either win your race or lose your race in a good points day there at a super speedway, man. How do you feel after this race, everything else with the points gap that you had previous to this event? And then after this race, going into that race, is there still a little bit of nerves going into there, knowing that that could be a make or break into the next round? Or do you feel even if you run into some troubles, even early race troubles, that you can still escape there and have a shot in our third race of this first round to transfer through into the final 8 drivers of the championship?
With how I did in this race, I'm pretty confident that no matter what happens at Dega, I can go into Kansas and I can race myself into the next round. I feel like I'm good enough at Kansas that it won't matter. So I've got enough points tonight that I'm not worried about Dega because there's Kansas afterwards. Dega's not the cutoff race. So even if all hell breaks loose and I do end up last with no stage points, I feel like there's enough of a gap that I can figure something out at Kansas.
Absolutely, brother. Well, that's everyone's hope going into this second race of the playoffs, but not a lot of drivers can have the same luck that you did here this evening as you're able to bring that 57 ride down onto the podium. A solid second place performance and a good point stay here for that Red Bull Racing number 57 ride. Grant, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great performance here this afternoon?
Just my teammates as always, or affiliates, however we want to call it. I'm not technically in the team, but I always talk to them throughout the week and during the races on strategy and how to run the track. And thank you to our people who make the setups because felt like this race was a lot better with the setup made the cars better, so made the racing more entertaining. I feel like because you could actually drive the car and not be worried about wrecking the whole time. So just thank you to them.
Absolutely, brother. Well, a great run and a great triumph here for you in this one, Grant. Hopefully some more of the same good luck at Talladega and maybe another couple trips up here into the broadcast booth next week and a good performance there as well to help work yourself into the next round of the playoffs. But congrats for the great run here at Watkins Glen, and we can't wait to see what happens and how it all plays out for you next Saturday at Talladega International Speedway.
Thank you. I'll see you later.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Grant Applegate as Grant comes home in position number 2. A great run and a great drive there for that 57 machine here this evening as he comes home in position number 2. Give it up there for Grant Applegate. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys please do hit that like button on the broadcast. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we're going to get ready to pull in our third place finisher, the 54 of Thomas Horvath. And it's Horvath coming home here in position number 3. We're going to pull him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Thomas, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Thomas, man, a good run, a solid performance from you here all evening long, earning yourself a good amount of stage points here, keeping that car for the most part clean and pretty, sitting pretty out there on the racetrack. Obviously, we saw that, first stage, a little contact there, Blackwell getting into the back end of Landon Burbage, which got into the back of you, and all that force going into your back bumper, unfortunately, kind of spun you around there through the bus stop, but you're able to get the car pointed back in the right direction in a quick hurry and salvage off, a pretty decent amount of points there in stage 1. You end up with some good stage points there in stage 2, and then you come home with a solid third place run. Man, you gotta be pretty happy with how this day went. Coming in here, being one of those drivers on the outside of of a playoff spot. You're on the outside of the playoff spot here, knowing that you had to have this good run, had to have this great drive to try to earn some of those extra points and trying to race your way in to the second stage of our playoffs.
Yeah, had a plan at the beginning, and right away I guess it got shaken up, and I was trying to be conservative and just keep the boys behind me there in second place. I got the jump on Landon right off the start, so I was happy with that. I thought second was good, and I could easily maintain that, but then, like you said, I got punted there through the bus stop, and then everything went out the window. I had to turn up the aggression. because the stages were counting down for the points coming up, so I had to put the pressure on, make a bit more bold moves than I wanted to, just to get some points. And then, yeah, same stage 2. I had a little damage to fix, so I had to start in the back somewhat. Then drove harder than I'd like to, but yeah, 3rd is okay. I definitely think I could have done better, and I actually think I could have battled for the win if everything went clean, but that's not racing, is it?
Absolutely, brother. But hey, man, and at the end of the day, a very solid run, a very solid drive for you, and you got to be pretty happy with, the total outcome here, points-wise, on the evening, knowing that, you're going to be able to probably leapfrog a lot of these competitors that were sitting in front of you there in that point standings, and potentially vaulting yourself into a pretty decent spot before the big question mark Talladega Speedway next week, man. How do you feel going into Talladega? How do you feel points-wise after this race where you may end up and start off next Saturday?
Yeah, actually, I did some math there, and I seen where I am in the standings. I'm actually sitting 5th right now. Talladega could go either way. I do like my chances. I do think I have a strategy where I can come out above a lot of the playoff guys through Talladega. The tracks after that might be a bit harder, though. There are some really good drivers out there for the mile and a halves, but I don't know. I can look to Talladega and think I feel pretty good. I think I have a good strategy to come out the end of that. Hopefully get into the next round.
Absolutely. Well, that's the big question mark for everybody out there, and for a lot of those drivers in our playoffs that didn't have the performance they were hoping for here this evening. They're going to be, a little bit more nervous than I think, you and obviously Wood and Applegate going into this second race here of the playoffs. But Thomas, a great run and a great job by you here this evening, coming home in position number 3. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and great performance here on the day?
Thanks to, funny enough, Noah Blackwell. He did mess me up a bit there during the race, but he made my beautiful paint job and a couple other ones I've gotten him to make. Thanks to the boys Josh and Brian for setting up the league. It's a lot of fun, and I like the hard work they're doing, and yourself for putting up this beautiful broadcast and taking time out of your day to make some entertainment for us and some other people. So yeah, we'll just carry on here in the playoffs and hopefully keep the show going.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to seeing you back in action next Saturday there at Talladega, and hopefully we'll talk to you again up here in the broadcast booth post-race, and maybe a couple spots better and up in victory lane yourself. Thomas, congrats on the great run, congrats on the great drive, and yeah, we can't wait to see you back out there next Saturday.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, giving up there for Thomas Horvath as Thomas comes home there in position number 3. A great run and a great drive right there for that number 54. As Justin says, God damn it, that's a great accent. What kind of accent is that, Justin? Is that like a northeastern accent, like a Boston accent kind of deal? I feel like a Boston accent's a little bit different than that, like looking for my cockies, but you never really know. I don't really know. I mean, we either got a English sounding accent or we have like a Quebec sounding accent. Those are the most accents we really have up here in Canada that we got to worry about. But I mean, there are the Newfie accents and everything else from in other cultures, other people, they all speak different accents and stuff like that. So it's always fun trying to figure out people's maybe region that they live in or where they kind of grew up, because you can kind of hear that in their voice. So that's what I'm not 100% sure I've really heard before. So that one would be a big question mark for me. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, man, a great run, a great drive right there. If I do sneeze, I apologize. I got a sneeze building up here, and I don't want to let it go. But these guys put on a heck of a show and a heck of a race for us all evening long, man. That was a ton of fun and some great racing, right from the drop of the green flag right down to the checkered flag, man. A lot of beating and banging, battling issues around the racetrack for some of our non-playoff drivers and for a lot of our playoff drivers running into some issues, having their, their things, going wrong here and there. As just says, I'm not a smart man. Laugh aloud. I just thought it was Canadian. Oh, you were talking about my accent, or were you talking about Horvath's accent? I'm pretty sure Horvath is American. I don't think that was a Canadian accent there on him. Let me see here. Entries. Thomas Horvath. Yeah, I guess he is Canadian. Well, dang, you got a better ear than I do, that's for certain. Better ear than I do. Maybe I just talk to American now after talking to so many Americans and everything else. And maybe, I don't know, do I sound Canadian anymore? I never know. That's definitely a good guess right there. But, man, some great racing, some great battling out there on the racetrack all night. And I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming in, showing the love here all evening long with the likes, the comments, the shares. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Any of the new followers, any of the new subscribers, welcome to the Peacemaker family. Welcome to the Peacemaker crew. A huge shout out again to my boy Justin Young coming in earlier as well with that $5 USD donation over there on the YouTube stream, coming in, showing the big love there. So shout out again to my boy Justin coming in, showing the big love all night long and enjoying some great racing here with us. And Justin, brother, you keep it up, my boy. We're just gonna have to make you one of the moderators in the channel, and you can keep that chat flowing, keep it going, and yeet and delete people that come in that are bots or whatever else, and you can come in and have some fun as one of the mods on the channel put up different polls and different things throughout the races. That could be a lot of fun as well. As have a hint of the Canadian or the American. I get you. Okay. I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. But listen, I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Can't thank you guys enough for coming in and showing the love all evening long. And I can't wait to see you guys back in here tomorrow. It's tomorrow. We actually have a triple header tomorrow afternoon. We got the Outcast Racing League, where we're going to see the NASCAR drivers back on track, back in action tomorrow evening. So we will see the Outcast Racing League duke it out. That'll start about 4 o'clock Eastern time, that they will be in action tomorrow evening. So they'll run from about 4 o'clock until about 6 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. And then 6:30, we head to the dirt track for some late model action, the championship night of the always amazing Slingin' Dirt series. So we're going to watch those guys duke it out in battle for their championship. And then a little bit later, about 9 o'clock, I do believe, 8:30, 9 o'clock, we're going to be hopping back onto the asphalt with the super late models of the pavement series side of things. So the Cars Tour will be in action, the Sim 500 Complete Motorsports Cars Tour, again tomorrow night to finish off the evening. So 3 big races, a lot of fun, a lot of battling to be had tomorrow throughout the day, and I hope to see each and every one of you there. I hope to see you guys be able to hop in here and have some fun, enjoy some great racing with us. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. But I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love all evening long, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! What a run, what a race, what a show! That was a ton of fun, man. Woo!
Engines roar like a beast. Cheering crowd can't sit still. Rubber burns on concrete. Fight for glory, thrill to kill. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might. Fuel gauge dancing low. Sweat drips, countdown slow. Wind cutting faces now. Victory, our solemn vow. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. slow. Wing cutting faces now. Victory, our solemn vow. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might. Adrenaline rush we crave. Pushing past edges brave. Life in fast lane feeding fire. Tracks our only true desire. Helmet on focused eyes. Crowds roar reaches skies. Pit stop seconds to spare. In this war no place for care. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might. Engines roar like a beast. Cheering crowd can't sit still. Rubber burns on concrete. Fight for glory, thrill to kill. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might. Fuel gauge dancing low. Sweat drips, countdown slow. Wing cutting faces now. Victory, our solemn vow. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might. With all our might. Fuel gauge dancing low. Sweat drips, countdown slow. Wing cutting faces now.